Welcome back once again to the channel, everyone, and thank you for tuning in because today we've got an absolutely massive update fresh from the backstage areas of WWE SmackDown, and this is one piece of breaking news you really don't want to miss out on because it involves one of the biggest stars in the company and the shocking emergence of a rival who seems determined to make his name at the expense of a battle-hardened veteran. The entire night on SmackDown carried a tension that could be felt through the screen, but nothing prepared the WWE Universe for what unfolded when Drew McIntyre, the proud Scottish warrior, was blindsided in one of the most vicious and unexpected assaults of the year by none other than Jacob Fatu. The moment was not just another typical wrestling run-in. It was a calculated strike designed to send a message not only to McIntyre, but to the whole roster that Fatu has arrived and that he is willing to go through anyone, no matter how decorated or respected, in order to carve his own path to dominance. The attack itself was brutal and sudden, leaving McIntyre shaken and furious. Viewers watched as Drew tried to compose himself, but his eyes betrayed the storm of rage building inside him. Yet anyone who has followed McIntyre's journey knows that he is not a man to stay quiet or to let such a moment pass without an immediate response. Later in the show, as the cameras shifted backstage, McIntyre stormed into the halls with a singular focus that made it clear he was hunting for the man who had dared to lay hands on him unprovoked. He moved with purpose, his strides heavy and his demeanor showing that he was not simply seeking answers, he was seeking retribution. His search ended at the door of Jacob Fatu's locker room, and without hesitation or a second thought, Drew burst right in, bringing himself face to face with the man who had ambushed him earlier in the night. The atmosphere in that room became charged instantly. It wasn't the kind of tension that comes from scripted exchanges or stage theatrics. It felt real, raw, and dangerous, the sort of energy that makes wrestling fans sit up straight because they know they're witnessing the seeds of something much larger being planted. McIntyre, his voice steady but dripping with fury, looked Fatu in the eye and told him in no uncertain terms that this wasn't going to end with a sneak attack. He declared, "You want to make a name for yourself? You picked the wrong man." Those words cut through the air like a blade, not just a warning but a promise that Drew would not let this go quietly. Fatu, for his part, did not back down, and his expression carried that mix of confidence and menace that has defined his reputation across the wrestling world. He looked ready to fight right then and there, and for a moment it appeared that fists would start flying, because Drew was inches away, his fists clenched, his body trembling with the urge to retaliate. The WWE officials and security personnel stationed nearby could sense the imminent explosion and rushed in to pull the two men apart, creating a barrier between them. The struggle was intense as Drew tried to push through the wall of bodies, yelling that this was far from over, while Fatu smirked, almost relishing in the chaos he had created. It took multiple guards to keep them separated, and the scene underscored that this was not a passing feud or a minor confrontation. This was personal, and it was bound to escalate. This single confrontation has already set the stage for what promises to be one of the most explosive rivalries SmackDown has seen in recent months. On one side, you have Drew McIntyre, a man who has fought his way through injuries, betrayals, and setbacks to become one of the most respected warriors in the WWE. His legacy is one of resilience, of a fighter who has risen from being released by the company to climbing all the way to the main event stage, defeating some of the greatest names in wrestling history. On the other side stands Jacob Fatu, a destructive force from one of wrestling's most storied families, a man with the aura of a beast and the track record of leaving destruction wherever he goes. Fatu is not simply looking to win matches. He is looking to dominate, to dismantle, and to prove that he belongs at the very top by taking out one of WWE's toughest competitors. The WWE Universe is buzzing with speculation because rivalries like this are what makes SmackDown must-watch television. Fans are already imagining the possible battles that could come out of this, from brutal backstage brawls to high-stakes matches inside the ring where nothing will be left on the table. McIntyre has never been the type to let an insult or an attack go unanswered, and his reputation as a warrior who thrives in the heat of conflict ensures that he will not stop until he gets the payback he craves. Meanwhile, Jacob Fatu seems more than ready for war. carrying himself with the confidence of a man who believes this is his moment to step into the spotlight and claim it for himself. It is rare that a single night can ignite such anticipation for the future, but that is exactly what has happened here. The seeds of war have been planted, and everyone can feel that the eventual clash between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu will be more than just another match. It will be a battle of pride, of legacy, and of dominance. The WWE Universe is preparing to witness a collision between two men who embody raw power and unyielding determination, and when they finally meet in the ring, the result is likely to be unforgettable. What makes this scenario even more intriguing is the narrative that surrounds both men. McIntyre, known for his ability to bounce back from any obstacle, has often been the figure who rises above adversity, whether it is betrayal from allies, crushing losses, or brutal assaults. Each time he falls, he finds a way to come back stronger, more focused, and more dangerous. His story resonates with fans because it reflects not just the spirit of a wrestler, but the spirit of a fighter who refuses to give up no matter the odds. In Jacob Fatu, however, he faces a challenge unlike many before. Fatu is unpredictable, ferocious, and thrives on chaos. His assaults are not just about winning matches, they are about breaking down opponents physically and mentally until they have nothing left to give. To him, chaos is not an accident. It is a weapon, one that he wields masterfully. As fans reflect on what happened during SmackDown, the discussions are already heating up across social media, forums, and among the WWE community. Who truly has the upper hand in this situation? Can McIntyre's experience, resilience, and warrior spirit overcome the raw brutality and relentless chaos of Jacob Fatu? Or has McIntyre, perhaps unknowingly, stepped into a storm that even he may not be able to weather? These questions are driving anticipation because the answers can only be found when the two men finally collide in the ring. What cannot be denied is the electricity that this rivalry has injected into SmackDown. The brand has thrived on competition, surprises, and the constant shifting of power dynamics, but every so often a storyline comes along that feels destined to capture the spotlight and demand attention, and this one has all the ingredients to do exactly that. Drew McIntyre's desire for payback is not just professional, it is deeply personal now. Jacob Fatu's willingness to provoke him in such a direct and violent way is proof that Fatu is not intimidated by McIntyre's reputation. Instead, he sees him as